Yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario. So, ladies, I'm going to tell you why guys seem to lose interest really quickly. What happens is this, right? Is that you're going to have some guys out there who they're going to be interested in you, right? And you're not really that interested. You're like, he's okay or whatever it is like that. And he'll continue to, try to see you, try to date you, whatever it is. And you're like, he's cool, but you're kind of wishy-washy in the situation. You're not really excited about him. So usually what happens is that you might end up falling back or just kind of like ignoring him, or you're just not interested anymore, whatever it is. And he seems to, keep coming at you. He keeps trying to get at you. He keeps trying to see what's up. He keeps calling you, even though you're not returning his calls or responding to his texts. And those type of guys, they don't lose interest. They keep having interest in you because those are the type of guys who, usually don't have that many options. These are the type of guys who don't really have that much experience with women. So they'll do that type of stuff when they're dealing with you. And the fact that you're not that interested in them, right? What happens is that it compels these guys to chase you now. You understand? So you have those type of guys, but this video isn't about those type of guys. I'm talking about the type of guys who seem to lose interest quickly. And usually these are the guys that you might like. So imagine a guy that you're interested in. He seems like he's interested. So you're excited because you actually like this guy. Right. And then what happens is that it seems like it kind of falls off. You understand? Now, what happens is sometimes the reason why it seems like the guy loses interest quickly, and I say seems like, is because at the beginning, it seems like he's interested, right? So you're thinking this guy's interested, and the reason why is because, he does something called love bombing. So there are guys who do this where when they first get with you, it's just like everything just seems perfect. He seems like the perfect guy. He's very responsive. He's very attentive. He's, he texts you good morning. He's like, he takes you out to a nice dinner. He's romantic. He's just everything you could ever want in a guy, right? Y'all are going out. The sex is good and all this other stuff. And, things are going in the direction that you think, oh man, this could be like the guy. This could be my boyfriend. This could be my husband, whatever it is, right? And then all of a sudden, it goes from him sending you good morning texts to no good morning texts. It goes from him, responding to your text to him not responding to your text, or taking like a long time to respond to your text. It goes from, you guys going out to him sort of like not trying to really make any plans. And you're like, what the hell happened? Like, I thought everything was going good. Right. And so what happened is that he loved bombed you in the beginning. He did all that extra stuff because it was the beginning, and he was trying to get you into a sort of, like vibe where he's, you're comfortable with him to where he can have sex with you. Right. And then what happens is that the real him starts to come out as time goes on. See, I try to warn women about this whole love bombing thing, meaning like, where a guy is like super extra with it at the beginning, because the thing is that it's not real, because you can't really keep that type of energy up. Right. So you have some guys who, they'll just be extreme with the love bombing. They might even buy you gifts. They might take you out to somewhere extravagant. They're doing all of this stuff in the beginning, like the first month and a half or something like that. And then it dies down, because what happens is that after he's had sex with you a few times, and the excitement of the newness of who you are wears off, then he just starts to revert back to his natural, regular ways, right? So he's not necessarily trying to impress you, for lack of a better term or lack of a better word. He's not trying to impress you anymore, because he's already done enough impressing to basically get what he wants, which was some sex out of you. You know what I'm saying? And now he's like, okay, she's cool, but whatever. Right? It's kind of like when it's it's gonna sound crazy, but it's kind of like when you have a kid who has a brand new shiny toy, and then he plays with it for a little while, and then he's like bored with it, and he just throws it in, tosses it to the side. You understand what I'm saying? That's kind of like the vibe, right? So this is why I said it seems like he lost interest, but the reason why it seems like he lost interest is because what happens is that you actually thought he was really interested in the first place, when he might not actually have been interested. He was just basically putting on a show in order to get what he wanted. You see what I'm saying? Now, there are times where a guy was actually interested in you. And then as time went on and he got to know you more, there might have been things that he saw or things that he was experiencing with you that showed him that, you and him might not be really that compatible. You understand? And then so he falls off. But in a lot of cases, he's falling off because he was never really on, meaning he was never really interested, and you got caught up in the love bombing. You thought the love bombing was real interest, when in fact it was just him doing what he felt he needed to do to get to the point of, having sex with you. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes what happened is he'll still sort of, engage with you after the sex to have a little bit more sex, but at some point it just starts to fall off. You understand? Like, I know this one lady where, she was dealing with this guy, and, she was telling me about him, like, oh, he did this and he did that, and it was this, and, he like, came over and cooked for me and did, like, it was just super romantic. And I said, hold on now. Understand? Like, don't get carried away. Right. And then so she's like, no, but you don't know what you're talking about. He's different, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then so, maybe like 3 months pass by, then all of those romantic little gestures and all that awesome stuff just stopped. Like it fell off. He started not returning her texts. He was being like extremely unresponsive most of the time, whatever. It was just like, he was like a total stranger at this point. Right. And then so she just gave up on him. And I know it sucks because you're thinking, well, how do you tell the difference between, how do you know if a guy like is really, really like liking you or really is feeling you? You know what I'm saying? And what I try to tell women is this, is that, you got to really take your time to see who these guys really are, and don't get caught up in that magical feeling that happens when guys are love bombing you. And it's hard to do because you want to believe it's real. You understand? You want to believe it's real. Now, I'm not going to tell you no goofy shit like, don't have sex with him and keep your legs closed, girl. No, that's not going to work. What it is you want to be able to look at a guy and deal with a guy and say, okay, if you recognize that he's love bombing, right? You can interact with him, you can date him, but take it with a grain of salt. You understand? Take it with a grain of salt. Let a few months pass by and let's see if he's actually consistent with his feelings towards you. And what I'm saying is that it's not necessarily where he has to keep doing extravagant things, but is he consistently showing up? Meaning, is he showing you that he wants to be there? You understand? That's really all it really is. Is his actions letting you know and showing you that he wants to be there? You understand? So what happens is that you might have some guys at the beginning who, will text you and, hit you up all the time and all this other stuff, right? And then that might slow down a little bit. But even if it slows down a little bit, is he still being responsive? Is he still, planning to come see you, and he comes sees you, and he's planning dates and he's showing up? Is he continually doing that? And if he is, then that's a good sign. But if, let's say, for example, this guy's been, communicating with you back and forth for the past 2 months, and then all of a sudden you send him a text and you don't hear back from him for like 6 days. You understand what I'm saying? That's ridiculous. You understand? Like if you're dealing with this guy and you're setting up dates, planning times to see you, and then y'all would meet up, y'all would hang out and everything would be all good. And then all of a sudden, the last 3 times you're supposed to hang out, he flakes on you. That's an issue. You see what I'm saying? So all you need to see is this guy showing that he wants to be with you over time. And that's not anything necessarily that you can see or know about at the beginning. You understand? It's just something you have to see reveal itself as time goes on. And then when you see that the guy falls off, right, or he's falling off heavy, then it's like, okay, well, yeah, this guy, he wasn't really about nothing. He wasn't really about this situation. If he's not falling off, if he's actually actively trying to make it work and trying to see you, and he has the desire to make it happen, he will make it happen. And you will notice that because he's making it happen. So you don't have to pull a guy's arm or pull teeth to get a guy who actually wants to see you to see you. You understand? If he wants to see you, he will see you. You understand? Men are simple. You understand? Men are real simple. If they want to see you, they're going to see you. If they don't want to see you, they're not going to see you. You understand? There's no like in between. There's none of this like, like extra all over the place. He doesn't have to think about it for days. No, he knows whether or not he wants to make it happen. And sometimes, unfortunately, a lot of these guys know from a lot of these guys are in situations where from the beginning, they knew it wasn't going to be anything that was going to last long, but they're not going to tell you that. They're not going to say, hey, listen, I'm sexually attracted to you. I want to have sex with you a few times, and then I'm going to just like fall off the map. They're not going to tell you that. They're going to, act like what they think you want, get you caught up. You understand? And then after they get what they want, they will toss you to the side. You understand? So just understand that goes down, and just pay attention to if the guy is being consistent and wants to be there.